Hey guys, it's Rachel and I am back with an all new video. This time it's all about cheesecakes. Today I will be comparing two different kinds of cheesecakes. First up, your New York style classic cheesecake with a graham cracker crust, and second up, the Basque burnt cheesecake that has been making its rounds through social media and trending online. I'm really excited to be trying these two different cheesecakes as I am a big fan of cheesecakes, but I've also really struggled to make them because every time I make a cheesecake, I crack the top or something goes wrong and it's gooey in the middle and it's not really set. So this time I'm determined to make it work. So first off, we are going to start with the Basque burnt cheesecake because that is something that I heard is incredibly easy to make and really you can't mess it up because all you have to do is chuck the ingredients together, blend it up, and then burn it, which I think is pretty simple. As an amateur baker, if you tell me to bake something and burn it, that is incredibly easy for me. So I feel like this will be a really easy process. The Basque burnt cheesecake comes together really quickly. I'm just using a recipe from Bon Appetit. There aren't really any special ingredients. You're just gonna go ahead and use room temperature cream cheese. You can watch me struggle to put this cream cheese into the bowl of a stand mixer. And then some heavy cream, eggs, sugar, a little bit of flour, and you just blend all of those ingredients together using a paddle attachment on your stand mixer. It's very simple. The ingredients come together super quickly. You don't need to prepare a crust, and you just blend everything together. Make sure you have a cake tin or a baking pan that's round, that kind of has a spring form or something that you can use to easily pop the cheesecake out of it. And make sure you go ahead and line that with a lot of parchment paper, and it's okay if it's wrinkly or crusty kind of looking because that'll give it more of a rustic feel, which is what we're going for with the Basque burnt cheesecake. Now, after you've chucked all those ingredients together, blended it up so it's really smooth, pour it into your cake tin. Now here comes the easy part. You're really just going to blast this bad boy in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour, just to let it burn and brown on the top and then make sure it's pretty set, but a little bit jiggly in the middle still. Then all you have to do is let this cheesecake come to room temperature and you're ready to slice and serve. You don't have to refrigerate this bad boy, and even if you do refrigerate this bad boy, you're going to want to bring it back down to room temperature before you eat it. So you don't have to refrigerate and wait 8 hours or anything like that, which is glorious, especially for a cheesecake. So that is it for the Basque burnt cheesecake. And now we're going to dive into the classic New York style cheesecake with your classic graham cracker crust. We're gonna go ahead and start off with that crust. Pretty easy. All we have to do is crush up about 6 whole graham crackers and then add in some melted butter and sugar and a pinch of salt. Blend those ingredients together and then press it onto the bottom of your springform tin or your cake pan. I like to use the back of a measuring spoon in order to really push that in. Then we'll bake it off at 375 for about 10 minutes. Then lower the temperature to 325 as you prepare the second set of ingredients, which is for the filling of the cheesecake. Once again, you're gonna chuck pretty much everything into a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. Watch me struggle as I throw in my room temperature cream cheese. And then you're gonna add in a little bit of sour cream as well as lemon juice, as well as lemon zest. So this kind of brightens up the flavor of the cheesecake a little bit more. You're also adding a bit of sour cream for a bit of acidity, which is a little bit different from your Basque burnt cheesecake. Once you've blended those ingredients together, you have a smooth consistency along with your egg yolks, your flour, and sugar. Then we're gonna pour that on top of the crust that we made. The really unique thing about this recipe, and I think with a lot of cheesecake recipes to prevent cracking, is to kind of create a little bit of a steam situation going on. In order to do this, we are going to create and place our baking cake tin, wrap it with foil, and then place it into a dish that can go up to about 1 inch on the side of your cake tin. And you're gonna fill that up with some boiling or hot water. And this will create sort of a steam situation when you put it in the oven, and that supposedly is to prevent cracking. I have not had a lot of luck with non-cracking cheesecakes, so fingers crossed for this one. So now that you've filled up the water about 1 inch to the side of the cake tin pan, throw it in the oven and cook for about an hour. And once you take it out of the oven, leave it in that water bath for about 45 minutes to let it cool down. This will prevent further cracking. All right, so it looks like it was a success. No crackage, thank goodness. And now we're going to do the hard part, which is to throw it in the fridge overnight to let it set. or at least 8 hours. And that's so long that that's basically overnight for me. And once that 8 hours has been up, you can go ahead and slice and dig into your beautiful cheesecake. And now I have both cheesecakes with me here. Here is the Basque burnt cheesecake that we first made, and this is the classic New York style cheesecake. Now I will be comparing both of these recipes. I know they are different styles, but I'm just gonna give you my opinion of which one I like better. So first off, I'm gonna start with appearance and compare both of these bad boys. I kind of like the burnt topping of the Basque burnt cheesecake. It's a little bit more rustic like this, but I think it's really pretty and it provides a nice contrast to the pale creaminess of the cheesecake. As for the classic New York cheesecake slice, you got that really beautiful graham cracker crust on the bottom, as well as nice layers of cheesecake and a really nice kind of shiny finish with the cheesecake at the top. It looks like a classically delicious cheesecake that I honestly don't think you can go wrong with. Okay, so now let's dive into the most important part, which is the taste. I'm gonna start off by trying the Basque burnt cheesecake. Oof, it just cut into that so beautifully. So the nice thing about this cheesecake is that it isn't too sweet. It's beautifully creamy and rich. It isn't overpoweringly sugary. And also, the burnt crust on the top provides a nice contrast to that kind of creaminess of the cheesecake. I also don't know why, but this cheesecake kind of reminds me of those like jiggly cheesecakes that you can find in Japan. It has that same flavor to it. All right, moving on, let's try the New York style cheesecake. Gotta get some of that crust in there. So with this one, you can really taste the lemon. The lemon zest and the lemon juice are really coming through to brighten up this cheesecake. It almost tastes like a lemon cheesecake if I'm not mistaken. This one is definitely more decadent and indulgent and rich for sure. Alright, so now comes comparison time. Which cheesecake is better? I think if you're looking for a cheesecake to satisfy people who don't have as much of a sweet tooth, the Basque burnt cheesecake is the way to go. It's classic, it's creamy, it's not over the top, and it's definitely not very sweet. I would say this is a cheesecake I would make for older people, older folks, maybe parents, people who don't really have a sweet tooth, and for an occasion that doesn't require something over the top and too decadent. If you're looking for a richer experience, a classic cheesecake, obviously the New York style one is the way to go. It's creamy, it's heavy, it has that perfect graham cracker crust to add a little bit more texture to it, and also it just has those notes of lemon zest and lemon juice, which make it really tasty. As for personal preference between these two bad boys, the winner for me would have to be, a drum roll please, the New York style cheesecake. There's just something that cannot be beat about this creamy, decadent, indulgent treat. I love the New York style cheesecake and it's always been one of my go-tos. It was great trying the Basque burnt cheesecake, but I'm sorry, if I want a cheesecake, I want a classic, rich cheesecake that will really satisfy the cravings. And for me, that's this New York style cheesecake. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this comparison video of the New York style cheesecake versus the Basque burnt cheesecake. Make sure you guys try out these recipes at home. I'll leave the links to the recipes I used in the description box below. I'll catch you guys next time, and until then, stay safe. Bye guys. On the ball like BB, don't make no mistakes, got the faith. The 18 just